Hey guys, Tim Walling here, SC Legal Carrier. We train people to get a CWP in the state of South Carolina. If you're looking for a concealed weapons permit, please look us up online at sclegalcarrier.com. Now, we've got our G2C, we've cleaned it, we've learned about snap caps, we've learned some basics about the firearm. So let's look at how to kind of get familiar with the gun, how to grip it, how to start practicing a little bit at home. You don't have to go to the firing range and do all your practice at the firing range. There's a lot of dry firing things that you can do at the house. So we always check that our magazine well is clear, and we check that our chamber is clear on the firearm, right? Now, we put our snap caps in the magazine already. Never have loaded ammunition out while you're practicing. Take your ammunition, put it in another room, lock it up, okay? Do not have it present or in the area. We do not want mistakes or accidents to happen, okay? So we've got our snap caps in here. We checked our chamber. We're gonna put our magazine in the firearm. We've seated it in. Remember, the firearm pointing here, all right, away from you. The live round, the pointed part of the actual cartridge here, the bullet, it faces, well, the bullet is the actual piece pressed into the casing here, but it is going to face forward. Notice how the point is facing forward on it. So it goes in with the point facing forward. It won't fire like this. You've got the actual round facing towards you in the firearm. Want to always make sure it faces forward when it goes in the firearm, and then seat it in there, give it a little bump. Now what we've got to do is drop our slide, so all we do is pull it and it closes forward. Remember, our load indicator says there's a snap cap in there, correct? So now we can practice grip and trigger pull. So let's just look at grip first. Here's your back strap, your beaver tail, or your tang on your firearm. So you want to catch it high on the back strap. This is the web of your hand, okay? You want to get the web of your hand shoved all the way up in the back strap of the gun. So we want to shove it up in there just as tight as we can, okay? Maybe this side will be a little easier for you to see. So shove your hand up in there just as tight as you can. I do not want to have any space right here. I do not want to have a gap in it. If I have a gap in it, if I'm holding the gun like this and I have, see how my finger can go in there and I have a space and room in it? When the gun fires, it's going to rock in my hand, and as this slide comes back, that's going to make the gun malfunction on you, okay? So to reduce malfunctions, high on the back strap, don't have any space in it right here, all right? Now, folks, you are squeezing a pistol from front to back, okay? From front to back. So good, firm grip on your gun. Notice my index finger, my trigger finger is outside the trigger guard, okay, while you're squeezing your pistol. Now let's turn around here and look at my thumb. So your strong hand, your dominant hand has the firearm in it, okay? Your weak hand or your support hand is the hand that you're going to put on the gun to support it here as you're squeezing it to fire it. Now remember, you're squeezing front to back as hard as you can, okay? Front to back. Notice my fingers here, they're right up against the trigger guard. There's no gap or space right here in this trigger guard. Make sure that your fingers are touching the bottom of that trigger guard, okay? Squeezing from front to back, really tight. This thumb on your strong hand has to go up in the air, okay? You put this hand right in front of the firearm, and then you wrap these fingers around. So what you're doing is you're karate chopping the bottom of the trigger guard when you place this hand in position, okay? Notice this thumb sticking up in the air, right? So when I lay my hand in there, this thumb lays down on top. Now, both thumbs are on the same side of the firearm. There's a little indentation in the firearm right here where your thumb lays into. It's called a memory point. That way, each time you grab the gun, you know that your thumb is not on the slide. This is the slide or the action. Do not ride your slide. Do not have your thumb up here on this slide. Get it down here on the frame of the gun. this portion of the gun is going to move forward and backwards. You don't want to impede the movement of the slide. You could make it malfunction. So keep your thumb down here on the firearm. Notice my thumb in the back. It's up in the air. When you lay it in, it lays on top. The reason it lays on top is so I can make good contact with the firearm right here with this hand, okay? So let's do it like this. Let's leave our thumb all the way down. Let's reach up and grab our firearm. I can't hang on to the gun. Look at the big gap that I've got in there in my hands where I can't hang on to it, okay? So you want to eliminate that gap. You want to get that thumb up in the air so that when you grip it, look how much contact I make with the firearm right there. Good and tight all the way around. Wrap those fingers around. Lay those thumbs down, okay? Remember, your strong hand thumb is always on top. Your weak hand, your support hand is on the bottom. Now, here's an important thing. Your weak hand, your support hand for your firearm. Now, when it's on the gun here, it's squeezing like a clamshell. It's got to squeeze like this, okay? You're squeezing really tight. So you've got to get your hand far enough up on the gun so that you can squeeze in this direction on the firearm, okay? So remember, you are trying to crush your hand inside this hand. So your support hand is trying to crush your strong hand, all right? And I mean, you are squeezing so hard on that gun right here like this. You are really cranking down. When that gun fires, this support hand is going to do about 70% of the work in controlling the recoil, the recovery, and getting back on target with the front sight of that firearm, okay? So you're squeezing tight front to back, squeezing tight here with your strong hand, thumb up, lay your hand right in there, thumbs down. Thumbs are not on the slide, they are on the frame. Thumbs are on the same side of the gun always. You are squeezing like a clamshell, really tight. Find that front sight and squeeze the trigger on the firearm, okay? So that is the basic pistol grip that you're looking for. So practice that. Practice getting a good grip on that firearm. Be sure that your fingers are in the proper place here. You've got another little memory point and indentation right there so that your finger, your index trigger finger stays in it, stays off your trigger until you identify your target and you make the conscious decision to fire your firearm, okay? So if we're firing our gun, we'd reach all the way out with our elbows, lock our elbows in the position to fire the gun. Keep the gun as far away from your face as you can, because when you fire it, this slide will come to the rear and go forward. You don't want to be holding it here. The slide will come back and actually hit you in the face. Plus, you don't have a good stable grip. The gun will flip up in the air and could hit you in the head. So all the way out, lock those elbows out all the way forward. Good firm grip. Notice my strong hand. Notice how it's holding on to the gun. My thumb is here on the firearm. Never release your thumb. Never take this thumb off the gun. This is your pistol grip. Once you've got it, you never release it. If you change hands with the gun, you're likely to drop the firearm, okay? So let's don't do that. Let's do not take our thumb off the back of the firearm. Let's not do that. Let's work on our grip. Let's get our pistol. Let's grab it, bring it up and find the front sight. Let's bring it up, find the front sight. We're just working on our grip, getting a good grip on the gun, getting really comfortable with the gun. We've got our snap cap in there so we can practice our trigger a little bit, and we'll talk more about that as we go along. But just practice your grip. Make sure you have this grip and you can hang on to it and that it looks like this while you're doing that, okay? Good firm grip. Best advice I can give you, when you think you're squeezing it hard enough, squeeze that gun harder, okay? Tighten up on it. The tighter you squeeze it, better you hold it, more control you're going to have over it when it fires. The more control you're going to have on it over it, the better recovery you're going to have on it, okay? So we'll work on some more things next time. So till next time, everybody, be a responsible adult. Don't push your responsibility as an adult off onto a child. Buy gun locks and gun safes. Secure your guns. Take care, everybody.